Welcome to Decide to Move podcast, where top experts share tips and strategies to grow you from where you currently are to where you are destined to be personally and professionally. Now here's your host, author, speaker, business strategist, CEO, and founder of Decide to Move, Monica M. Bijou.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Decide to Move podcast, where we help entrepreneurs that are going through a pivotal shift go from where they currently are to where they're destined to be. And I'm super excited because I have a spectacular guest with me today to help you do just that. She's got some exciting information that she's bringing you, so that way you can definitely get learn how you can actually take and make that trajectory and propel yourself to the next level. I have with me a midlife and beyond empowerment coach for women around the globe, and she's dedicated to helping women and her clients change from what is broken in their life while rediscovering themselves in the process. She is the CEO of Women Rocking Life Beyond Midlife. She's a co-author of the book Bouncing Back in Thriving Times, and she's an inspiration speaker. I have with me today Ms. Dorothy May Ross. How are you doing today?
Hi, how are you? I am just fantastic. I'm excited to get started this morning.
Yes, I'm so glad that you're here with me. So tell our listeners and those that are viewing by video, where are you currently?
I am currently in Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City. And today is a little dreary outside and a little dark. But that's Chicago. You never can tell what you're going to get.
Nice. So are you born and raised in Chicago?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Chicago and actually never thought about moving anywhere else.
Oh, nice. So tell us, I greatly appreciate you being with us today. So tell me about your entrepreneur journey. How did you get started? What was your life before you actually became a coach? And then what made you decide to become a midlife empowerment coach?
Well, what I did was I started out on a job, and I think everybody knows Montgomery Wards. I worked there about 9 years. It shut down. And I said, I'm not going back to work. So I decided to help my mom that was starting a restaurant. So I worked with my mom for about 2 years to bring her dream into reality. But it wasn't my reality. So I needed to figure out what I needed to do. And I never really knew what I wanted to do. I'm the type of person, I'll try anything until I figure out it just won't work. So I sit at my kitchen table one Friday and I decided to have a little talk with God. Okay. I didn't know what to do, but I knew somebody that did know what I needed to do. And I decided to go out Monday through Friday the following week to 3 places every day and put applications out. And I promised the Lord that Monday morning, whoever called first, I would take that job. Well, guess what? It wasn't the job that I wanted. The job I wanted called second, but I had made a promise. So I went on to Sherwin-Williams Paint Company, where I worked for 33 years and I retired. But during those 33 years, I've always been an entrepreneur. So I started out with doing buying real estate, rehabbing, and then I was renting it out until I found out I wasn't a landlord. So then I decided I'm going to sell everything. So that's what I did that for quite a long time. When I did that so I could put away retirement money so I would have something to retire. I never wanted to go back to work after retiring. Then I started a pre and post construction company. And somebody wanted that company, so I sold that company. Then I started a cleaning company. And then I decided that cleaning wasn't for me, but my son had a friend that had a cleaning company, so I sold that part of it to him, okay? In the meantime, I've been a a travel agent for about 15 years. And that went down the hole as the internet became more and more famous. So that I decided when I retired from Sherwin-Williams, I needed something else to do. So what I did was I decided to study being a coach. So I went looking for coaches to and programs. So I did that for 3 years. And now I have my own company. So I'm ready to get started.
Okay. And so what made you decide to become a midlife empowerment coach?
Well, I had just a little phase in my life where I was going through some things, and going through, I didn't know what to do. I was having hormonal changes that one day I was happy, one day I was sad, the next day I'd be a tiger. I was really going through, but I got to a point where I was really dipping low in my life, and I didn't have any really good friends or sisters that I could tap into. So I was at a point where I was working, coming home, working, coming home. And I remember I came home one evening. I don't even remember the drive from work to home, but I remember standing at the foot of my bed. And I remember saying, Lord, if you don't do something, I just don't know what I'm going to do. And that still gets me. It still gets me inside. So the next day, I didn't want to come home. So I was sitting in my car. I decided to stop. And I stopped in this parking lot where there was a little strip mall where there was restaurants and stuff. And I went inside and I sit down. And I said, well, I'm going to drink me some coffee. I'm just going to sit here for a while. And a lady walked up. And when she walked up, she asked me, could she sit down? So, I kind of looked around, I think any more empty seats around here, but she sit down. And I don't know, I just began to just talk, just spill. And she said, you know what? I believe that I can help you. Well, I didn't have anything else to lose. So guess what? I tapped into her, and we have, oh my God, it was just supplements. She gave me a book, go through this, look at these supplements and things and see, we need to get you back balanced and what have you. And I'm telling you, those supplements really saved my life. And I did some training under her. When I felt that I was back to not even to my own self, but I was better, much, much better. I asked her, would she start to train me? I wanted to give back. I said, because if this is the way I feel, I know that there are other women that feel the same way. I don't ever want anyone to ever feel lost, or that they just don't have anyone that they can turn to and they need someone. So, and that's actually how I got started in the coaching business.
That's a beautiful story, and so many times it's kind of like it's like you were led to that. But I understand before you actually was it while you're in your coaching business, or before that you went through some other things through yourself, like cancer and your sister?
Oh, oh no, the cancer came afterwards. The cancer
Okay.
came afterwards. And I believe if the cancer had came before, I honestly, I don't know what I would have done, because I was already at a low place. So cancer would have probably taken me out. But because I had worked with Kathy, and I had worked with her so long, I was prepared. When that time came, I was really into ministry. I love praying, so I was really into that. So me talking to God and saying, hey, look, what do I do? How do I handle this? And it's just a calming effect came over me about the cancer. I had a wonderful, wonderful oncologist that my doctor had introduced me to like 5 years earlier. And one of the reasons I was going through hormonal changes is because they were afraid to give me anything, because they figured if they did, I would catch cancer because I had active tissues. Well, it came anyway. But I after that, and I pulled myself together. I had to have both breasts removed and replaced, and I found out that there were so many women that were going through the same thing. I started getting a lot of calls. My oncologist started talking to me about women that were actually coming into her office that were going through. And she was like, Dorothy, I don't know how you're doing it. And I was like, I said, I've come a long ways and I'm still yet learning. I said, but I'm not letting things tear me down anymore. I'm meeting them head on now. I'm facing them. So whatever was torn down in my life, I got me a journal. I began to write in there. And what I did was on one side of the page, I wrote everything that was wrong, everything I wanted to change in my life. But then because I'm in ministry, I went back to the Bible. I wrote a verse for every one of those things down. And as I was writing, the Lord said, don't add anything to this. Don't take anything away. I want you to just read it just like you wrote it and nothing but the verses. And I just began to do that every day. I would repeat those verses and it looked like things were just beginning to just fall away. I would get stronger in some areas. I would get divine connections because I was asking for girlfriends. I didn't have any girlfriends were headed the way I was. I needed friends to talk to. And those connections came. And I had to go out of state in order to make those connections, but they came nevertheless. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, when you say you had to go out of state to make those connections, were you talking about networking events or?
I went to a Darlene Bishop is a pastor that I follow. She was having a birthday party in Arizona. I went to that birthday party. And at that birthday party, it was like 120 degrees in the shades. I came outside, I'm walking, and another young lady was walking too. And I said, I got to go back in. I can't stand this heat. But we connected, okay? And then later that night, she had a special uh, party where she was inviting only certain people. So I got invited to that. Well, there was another young lady that I met there that was actually from Chicago. Okay. So, and that's been, oh my God, that's got to be, I don't know, it's got to be at least 12, 15 years. And we're still best friends, both of us, So one of them is in California and I go see her 2 weeks out of every year. And then one is here in Chicago. So we kind of hang out. We're in ministry together. But I had to go all the way to Arizona to find that connection.
Yeah, and it's so often we stay in our little circle. And for me, it's super, I mean, like I have connections from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast and even in other countries, which is so great because of the fact that it adds depth to who you are as well, because you're not stuck on one side only. Unfortunately, you have what's called groupthink, and so that happens in certain groups as well. When you're from a coaching standpoint, if you have the same people that you hang out with, you can only grow as far as what they can take you. But when you have a breadth of friends and people that you support and work with, wow, the things that can happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've got a set of ministerial friends because I'm a pastor as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that group of friends. So during the 3 years that I've been doing the coaching business, I have coaching collaborators. Okay, so I have friends in the coaching industry that we get together 2 and 3 times a year to hang out together. And so now I'm working on the personal side. I haven't done the friends for my personal life, but I'm going to start working on that. I need a friend that I say, when I talk to them and I tell them my worst story or how I feel, they're still in it for me.
That's
Okay.
right.
They don't walk away and they don't spread the news. So So I'm working on that one.
Mm-hmm. I once, Tyler Perry, I love his different movies and stuff, but he once said about the different types of friends that we have in our lives. You have people that come in that are just like a little leaf, when the wind blows, they blow away. Then you have the ones that are like branches. They seem pretty strong, but then as soon as something heavy hits them, they're like gone. So it's like important to find those roots, the people that breathe life into you, that gives you, hope and inspiration. And it's kind of like a dual thing. And so that's super huge and important. And I will pray that the friends, some of your coaching people will become some of your good friends too, because we all need that. We definitely need that.
We do. I'm the type of person that when I give myself, I give all of me. I don't hold anything back. So I mean, I've got people that call me and tell me their stories. They know it's not going to go any farther than me. I've got people that want me to pray for them and, what have you. So I do that. Okay. But in return, I need the same thing. You got those friends that you talk to,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have those friends that you tell everything to. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I need that kind of friend. I had that type of a friend years and years ago, and she passed away. So I need that type of a friend again. We can hang out, we would, even though I'm married, I have kids and what have you, I need that certain sisterhood,
Mm-hmm.
that sister that I can sit on the porch with and we can conversate about anything and everything.
Yeah, that's super huge important. So I understand that, based on like your story really is about what your topic is about today, which is about reinventing yourself, taking all the life experiences, things that you went through, and helping women empower them as well as helping them reinvent themselves. Do you care to go into details about that?
Yeah, well, what I do is when someone wants to work with me, what I want to do is I want to discover what it is that they want in their lives. And then we want to create a plan to take out everything that is not working for you. And I tell people a lot of times they tell me about friends or what have you. We don't want to kick our friends to the curb. We just want to put up some boundaries or what have you. So I have them to create what I call a simple plan. And the simple plan is to create the life that you see according to your vision, according to your dream, according to your passion. And then we're going to put it all into action and get some action steps so we can make it come to reality. Okay. So it's not an overnight thing, but there are some things that people can start to do the same day that they start working with me to head that way. We've got women that are lonely, that don't have friends or what have you. We've got women that have retired and they're just at home. They're doing nothing, but they want more to do, but they just don't know what to do and they don't want to do anything. And then we've got some women. I've got a longtime friend that I worked with in ministry that retired, but she's spent all of her money. All of her money is just gone. And she just didn't know what to do. Well, we had to figure out, you know, what could we do in order to start bringing in income right away? And she had so much knowledge that we started her doing. She's doing like nonprofits. She's helping people set up nonprofit organizations and things. She's teaching ministerial classes, many classes and things like that to help bring income in. So there's so many things that women go through as I always say that as we become a certain age, okay, that we just get lost in the cluster of the world. You know, there's a wheel that's rolling, 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 and it rolls right past us. Okay, but we have to figure out how do I stop that wheel? How do I stop that wheel and I get on and I make it fit into my life where it's fitting into everybody around me, but I'm forgotten about. Okay, nobody's doing anything for me. Nobody's reaching out to me. It kind of reminds me of the lady on TV with the lotion commercial where she's lotioning her daughter's elbows, and her daughter runs out the door and she's, well, I'm free for dinner, you know. But that's what happens when you become an empty nester. That's what happens when all of your friends are on a job and you haven't taken the time to make personal relationships, you know what I'm saying? So that you can get together. And I love doing that. I love listening to women. I love listening to women. I love listening to some of the things that they're going through and helping them to come up with strategies that will help them to get out. I'll share one more story with you. One of my youngest son's friends, credit card debt up the gazoo. No, she's got income coming in, but nothing to spend. I told her a story about me starting saving, working with the credit union. So I told her, open up a account with the credit union, have them start taking out some money. She didn't have any money, no savings, no checking, no anything. She started doing that. This was like in November. In February, her car broke down. Now she lives way up in the suburbs, but she works in the city. Okay. She called me and I gave her my mechanic's information. So she had been taking her car to dealers or what have you, and they were telling her like 1,500, $2,000. Okay, she took it to my mechanic. She says he charged her $475. Okay, but she had the $475 to pay him because she had started the credit union savings in November. Okay, but what would have happened had she not started saving? She'd have been trying to catch the train, on the bus, or however to try to get back and forth to work because she couldn't put them on a credit card. So I had her to give me the credit cards. I'm going to keep the credit cards for you for about 6 months. So that's exactly what I did for about 6 months, and it all worked out. It was just great, you know. So, and she's doing great. So it's awesome, just awesome.
That's a great story. And it's so true. Like, you know, just taking those little small steps. And we often need people to just help us sometimes, just give us the strategy and different things. One question I did have when you were talking about like your age, you know, like when people get your certain age, they get forgotten about. I'm noticing that age is going down more and more. I currently have a client that's in her early 30s that is literally going through a pivotal shift. She's going through like don't have friends, moved around a lot, and so she finds herself focused on taking care of the kids. And now that the youngest is getting ready to go into kindergarten, she feels lost. Like, what do I do? I've dedicated, you know, pretty much 7 years of her life, 8 years, because the oldest one is like 8 years old. So 8 years of not working, being at home, being a stay-at-home mom, and wanting to like get back in the game where before she was successful. And so, you know, my clientele are those that have experienced that. They've either retired, had success in their life, but something has happened. They're going through a pivotal shift, and now they're ready to either get back in the game, restart, or go in a different direction. What strategy would you tell someone who is wanting to reinvent themselves and start either anew or kind of get back on the horse and start again?
Well, one of the things that I would start to tell them to do is, and that's where the journal comes in at, okay? So what's going on is I would take a journal, and in that journal, we would begin to list a lot of the things that are out of order in her life, what's out of balance in your life, okay? Then I would want to know exactly what do we do that we can set some goals to that you want to do. What do you want to do? What do you think? I believe that every woman has a regret in their life of something that they didn't do that they wanted to do. So what's that regret? What is that regret that you have? So I go through a series of questions, okay, to find out. So Monica, what is the one thing that you desire to do at this moment? Just at this moment.
For me, I have so many. So in this moment is for me to have a successful podcast.
And
For this right now. Mm-hmm.
okay, so in that, then we have to figure out what makes a successful podcast. Who
Exactly.
can we bring on that will take that podcast way above the limits, where you haven't even thought it could go?
Mm-hmm.
And who are some of the people that we can connect to that may know someone that can help you to take this podcast where you want it to go? And those are some of the things we do, but you got to write it. What people do is they got it here, but they forget to put it on paper. You got to write it. And I have to always go back. I'm sorry, I'm a pastor. So I have to go back to Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision, make it plain so that whoever reads it can run with it. How do you run with something that nobody can see and nobody understands? And that's what I would tell her. Let's get started there. Where's the passion? Where's the dream? Where's the vision? What is it that you wanted to do? What do you do?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all of you that are listening and you can identify with that client, you just heard Dorothy tell you exactly what you need to do. Write the vision and make it plain. I mean, because that's me. I am all about goal setting and, like, yes, we have your phone and have the electronics, but I actually have a handwritten planner because there's something very kinesthetic about putting pen to paper that a lot of people lose because they do everything via their phone. When you type stuff, it's easy for you to hit backspace delete. It's easy for you to look at the mistake, where if you write it out, stuff that you didn't even realize was in you comes out, and it comes out so organically that it makes a big, huge difference. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I'm
true.
definitely a pen to paper. I actually have several. My phone and on pen to paper. I'm a planner girl, and I have to have like an actual planner, hand and goal planning. So it just makes my life a lot easier.
Well,
Um,
you have to. You have to.
yeah, and unfortunately I see so many people get away from that. What about mindset? What is your thoughts about when it comes to mindset around setting goals and taking action?
I think in order to change your mindset, you need to listen to um, inspirational, motivational people. You need to find books to read. I used to say all the time, I'm not a reader. I don't do no reading. But guess what? I had to change that. And the reason why I changed that is because I wanted to retire from my job a millionaire. Okay, that was my mindset. So I had to figure out how Dorothy, how are you going to do that? Well, between the entrepreneurial businesses that I set up, between me sacrificing while I worked in order to have what I need when I retired, I made that happen. Okay. And like now I'm working on opening up a women's community and resource center. It's going to take some funds to do that. So I've started writing the vision down for it. Okay. Now I just need to, I always see the end. I know what the end looks like. Okay. But I've got to get the beginning together. I've got to get the middle together. Okay. So what's going to get me to the middle is I've got to connect with some people that are already doing what I want to do. Okay. Even if it's just going and maybe I can't connect with them, but I can get into the room with them. I can listen to what they're talking about. So the mind, you got to change how you're thinking, for every negative thought, you've got to find something positive about it. How do you take negativity in your life and change it into an opportunity? You got to do that. And if you're unable to change how you think, then you're not going anywhere. You're not going to move anywhere. You're not going to have anything. Okay. And you'll never see yourself with anything because you'll still keep the same mindset. If you've got a $10 mindset, okay, then you'll never see yourself with $1 million. Okay. Never, because you'll never do anything to try to get there.
Yeah. And I always tell people about the word try. To me, the word try is like you think about it, but you don't, it's not an action word. You won't even take the steps to do that. And you will be trying. You'll be thinking about it. I'm trying, and that's it. It's kind of like if I always use the analogy, if I put $20 on the ground and I tell you to pick it up, if you say you're trying to pick it up, that means you're just sitting there looking at the $20.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Either you did or you didn't. And that is so huge where oftentimes people say, I don't need mindset, I'm good, my mindset is clear, I just need to know the action steps. But if you don't have the clear mindset of what you have to do about those action steps, and as you said, you used to say, I'm not a reader, but then once you change that thought process, everything else opened up for you. And now it's like you're starting your business, you're now doing entrepreneur stuff, you're coaching, you're doing so much where you could have stayed in that space of feeling down, depressed, and not feeling like you're going to do anything, but you changed your mindset from the very beginning to continue to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want so much to be able to travel freely, not have to worry about where the money is going to come from or what have you, but also I believe that I'm a gift to be a gift to someone else. Okay. So the giftings that I have and everything, the resources and the things that I learn, of course, I want to make it a monetary thing for me so I can do some things, but I also want to use that to help other people. I believe that when I do my best for someone else and I give all that I am, that it turns around and it comes right back to me. And I have to say that God has really, really blessed me, financially, with friends, my children. I've got all boys and they've got great jobs, great families, or what have you. you know and even with the health issues or what have you, God has stepped in and calmed me down when it comes to that, made a way, gave me the right connections that I need. So I believe that's because I'm a giver. I give financially. I give. I in the church. I help do fundraisers within the church or what have you. But I love seeing people climb to levels that they never thought that they could get to, and do things that they never thought that they could do before.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And so many times people don't realize is that your things that have your adversity, I should say, is an opportunity for you to do so much. I understand that you're a co-author in a book as well. Do you mind sharing about your book?
Uh, yeah, bouncing back in thriving times. It's actually the total book is about trying times, not only in my life but in the other people's lives that actually wrote in the book, and what it took to bring us back. I wrote that. I became a co-author in that book after I got myself back together from midlife and beyond. And I wrote about my friends, the loss. I was feeling the loss of my best girlfriend. She passed away. And then I had another male friend of mine that I work with in business that passed away. And I was really beginning to feel that loss all around me, and it was actually starting to bring me down. So I had to figure out a way to get balance back in my life and pull myself away from that. So I just started taking like many weekend trips. I would just go away. just many weekend trips to do certain things. I would look and I would find a place. They were all in Illinois. I didn't leave out of Illinois, but there was a place that I went to that had the movie screen. They had games and things in there. They had ladies' nights. I stayed there for a weekend, and I met people. I didn't connect where I brought them back with me, but I connected with people while I was there. I learned how to have a conversation with people and not be in a crowd and feel lonely. There's a story and a song that talks about how people are in the midst of a million people and they're still all alone. I didn't want to be in that place anymore. So I learned how to, what is it? Carnegie's had his book and his CD. I got that. How to make friends, how to change situations in your life. And if I get on a plane, there's nobody gonna sit beside me that's not gonna know who I am, and I know who they are. So, and that's what helped, and that's what I wrote about. And that's what thriving and bouncing back in thriving times. Where so much is going on in the world these days, but we can't let it take us down. We have to figure out, how can I make a difference? What's my part? How do I play a part in this here? My part for me is I love to volunteer in women groups and things like that. That's how I give back. I'm getting ready to do a talk now on meet the financial freedom detective. And I'm the detective. I'm going to help you find some hidden money somewhere. So
I like that. Is that a program that you're starting, or is that going to be another book that you have coming out?
Neither one. It's just actually a talk. I started talking to some friends and some neighbors, about financial freedom. And I decided that I'll just turn it into a talk. It's not going to be a book. It's not going to be a program, but who knows what'll happen down the line.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that sounds like it definitely can be a program or something, because there's so many people that need that. But what I absolutely love about what you shared is the fact that in the midst of, like you said, how you were surrounded around loss and a lot of grief, you found yourself as well. You started taking trips by yourself and just really discovering who you are in the midst of that, and instead of allowing yourself to just stay in that place. So that's huge.
It's true. Sometimes people feel like they're trapped in situations and they can't get out. They can't find their way. But that goes back to the mindset, okay? You really haven't thought about, all you thought about is, I'm trapped here. Let's say in a marriage, I've got a marriage that's not working for me. I'm no longer happy. I want to get out of it, but you just feel trapped. Why do you feel trapped? Because you've never prepared yourself to ever be alone. That's why you feel trapped. So what do you need to do? You need to put something together that says that if I do this, I can do this. If I leave this, I can do that. If I stop doing this, I can do that. Figure out what it is that's got you trapped and make a plan to get out of that trap. And most of the time you'll find out that the woman that thought she was trapped in a marriage, she doesn't go anywhere. Because now in her mind, she's no longer trapped. She can walk away at any time. Why? Because she's thought about it. She's wrote about it. She's got a plan about it. She thought about it. Now she doesn't have to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I always say that when I'm with someone, I'm with them because I want to, not because I need them. Because, it's like if I say, oh, I need $100, once I get that $100, the need is gone. But
Yes.
if you want something, it's a lot different. You appreciate it, you value it. It's something that you hold on to, and you do a lot of things to take care of it. And that's in a relationship too. I mean, like, don't get me started on the relationship, kid, because we can be here all day long. Because and that goes friends as well. Like, you were talking about surrounding yourself around people. I only surround myself around like-minded and like-hearted people. I mean, I'm going to share, you and I met through, the Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs, so, women helping women entrepreneurs. And I, put a post out for my podcast and stuff. And I literally had over 200 and something responses, more than that. And I literally combed through each one to figure out who resonates with me and who I know will definitely bring value to my clients as well as me to theirs. And so to me, it's about making sure that I'm bringing substance and something that's super huge and important. So it's not just about getting anybody to say, oh, will you work with me? No, you have to be very intentional about everything that you do.
That's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, and you can tell, give me a word and I can talk.
Same here, right? It's that spiritual, that pastor in you, and I'm working on my doctorate, and we can go into details about that as well. But yeah, so I'm the same way. You give me something like, oh, and it's like, okay, all right. So do you have any other strategies or anything that you would like to share with our listeners, as well as those that catch us on video, regarding how to bounce back, or how to inspire them, or empower them, I should say, as they make that transition?
What I can say is that if if a woman believes that she still got life ahead of her, okay, then there is something for her to do to make her life better. If you are tired of where you are, if you're tired of doing the same old thing, then the only thing stopping you is actually you. That's why I'm working on a 6-month online program called The Simple Plan. The Simple Plan is deciding that I can create my own day. I can create my own world. How do you do that? You first got to decide what you want in your world. What do you want in your world? Okay. And then let's figure out how to go about getting that. So I said, I want to start a women's community resource center, okay, where women can come together for support, they can come together for resources, or just come and just hang out, okay. I'm all about the porch sisters hanging out, talking, okay. But here's the thing, where do I get started? I've got the idea. So first of all, I had to figure out, is it going to be profit or is it going to be nonprofit? Well, I know it's going to be nonprofit. So that means I've got to work on that side of it. Once I get that, I can't go running off starting a community center and I'm not legal, let's say. I'm not legal yet. Okay, so I got to get legal. Once I get legal, then I need to go out. I don't need to go get a building yet because I don't know who's going to be there. I need to get out into the community. I need to talk to the women. I need to find out what it is that's missing in their life. What are some of the things they want to do when the kids are gone, the husband's gone off to work? What are you doing all day besides watching the soap? Okay. And then I need to put a plan together. I need a business plan. So I need to get that business plan together. Then I need to find out, if I do this, who am I going to do it with? I can't be a loner out here. I'm not a Lone Ranger. No. I need a Tonto with me. So I need to find some people. So, and it just starts there and it goes down the road. It goes down the road. So if I'm standing on the top step and there's 3 steps there, I first need to discover what it is I want to do, whether it's about me or whether it's about someone else. Then that second step, when I step down on that second step, I need goals, I need a plan, I need people in my life that I can sound off to, collaborators. You can find that in your own family, collaborators, people have a tendency to tell you the truth when you ask for the truth, okay? Mm-hmm. So then once I get that together, now I'm going to step off to the third step. When I step on that third step, I know what I want. I have the idea. I have the resources. Now I need to put the plan in action, okay? So now I need all of the action steps. There's something for every step that you make. there's not just one step. There's something else that goes along with that step, and we just have to make it happen. And there's so much that we can find. I tell people that even that's writing their online programs and things. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. Okay, I'm reinventing yourself in midlife. I needed to go find some 5-star books on midlife. I needed to find some 5-star books on reinventing yourself. But then I had to go back and find some books that weren't so good so I could find out why. What's wrong? What's happening that if women are trying to reinvent themselves, what's stopping them from doing it? So I had to go back and get those 2-stars and start to read those 2-stars. So that's why I say it's a step for everything that you do.
Yeah, exactly. And in those books that are missing, like the 2-stars, a lot of times when people go to the reviews, it'll tell you, for those that are, like, need to understand that action step. When you go to the reviews of an Amazon and you're attempting to find the words that you need for your program and you want to have, you go to the reviews and it'll tell you, like, hey, this book was missing this, or I thought it was going to have that and this was missing. And that helps you get all the content that you need to help you with your program. So
that's it. Yeah, you're on it. You are on the target, as they say.
Yeah, I want to make sure that people get value and understand how they can actually create something, because a program is one of those pieces that if you have the desire to reach the masses, speaking engagements, being on a podcast, creating programs, something where your business end up becoming scalable and that you're not doing the onesies and twosies, because you can only see so many individual clients. You can only reach so many people when you're doing the one-on-ones, and you'll get burnt out and your business don't grow very as fast as you want it to. But
Absolutely.
those like-minded people, like you were saying, taking those steps, you get the like-minded people. Even with family, you have to make sure they're on the same page as you, because sometimes family can be the ones to do your worst.
Yes.
So knowing the right audience, knowing the people that you definitely can work with. I interview and talk to everyone. I mean, family or no family, I need to make sure that we are on the same page, and I have no problem like firing people. I mean, I've had to let some people go because they they just were not resonating with what my brand was. And to understand, anyone that you have in your circle represents your brand.
Absolutely.
And so you want to, as you're taking those steps, ensure that those steps are ones that are ordered. Number one, Chris Hammond is my man. I love that song, Your Steps Are Ordered. That every time I hear it makes me cry. But one, your steps are ordered and you have the right people that's with you. So,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that's
so true. So
important.
true. I believe that. I believe that if you consult and you connect, okay, then you'll have order in your steps. Ain't no
That's
problem about
right.
that.
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah, awesome, awesome,
Yes.
awesome.
So is it me just did I assume, or did I hear that you're also working on another book? Do you have another book coming out soon too?
I'm working on it. I am working on it. I'm going to be a co-author right now in another inspirational book that's set to come out in a couple of months. But I'm actually working on my retreat here in Chicago. So I've got a rejuvenation and re-energized retreat that's coming up in October. And that is where my heart is at. Yeah, okay. So I'm doing that. And because I'm a pastor, I've added that one night of worship in there. So I'm excited about that, but I'm working on the next program that I'm working on is called The Simple Plan. Okay. That's the book. And actually yesterday praying, the Lord told me I thought that was going to be my online program, and he was like, no, that's going to be a series of program under the Simple Plan. So I'm going to be putting some things together for that.
Okay. Is there any way for people to register for that, or is that something that you're still working on?
I'm actually still working on the simple plan. They can register for Reinventing Yourself in Midlife, and they can actually go to my website, dorothymayross.com, www.dorothymayross.com. And if they want to register for the conference, they can register at www.dorothymayross.com/rejuvenation-retreat.
Okay, and I'll make sure that that's in the comments as well so that they can just click on the link as well. That is great. And is there any other ways that our listeners or those that, like I said, watch by the video can follow you or connect with you?
Absolutely. They can actually follow me on Facebook. I have several groups on Facebook. I have an MW Rocking Life on Purpose. That is men and women coming together for the success of both men and women. They can find me there. And they can also just find me on Women Rocking Life.
Love it. Love it. Dorothy, it has been simply a pleasure having you with us today. Everything you spoke about is all that I stand for, and that is why I wanted to make sure that you were with me and my audience, and so that they can hear all the great things, one, that you have to say, but also the great things that you have planned. And so we will definitely continue to stay connected. We can consider ourselves a collaborator from here on out, right?
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's simply been my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us at Decide to Move podcast, where we help entrepreneurs, authors, creators, healers, speakers go from where they currently are to where they're destined to be. And if you want to listen to any of the previous episodes, please go to www.decidetomovepodcast.com. I'm Monica Mbiju, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Decide to Move podcast with Monica M. Bijou. If you are ready to grow personally and professionally in order to take your destined position in the world, then schedule a free clarity call at bit.ly/call with Monica. That's bit.ly/call with Monica, or visit us at decidetomovepodcast.com for all links mentioned today and listen to previous episodes. Also, don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes or your favorite listening platform.